Steve, it's 1:03, and we've slowed down considerably bringing folks in. I'll just remind you we are recording, and I will cut out health information. I'm going to mute all, and Steve, it's up to you now.
Let me get unmuted and welcome you to Waynesville Rotary, April 16th. Glad to see all of you and hope some more continue to join us. I guess we can start with concerns for our invocation. Anybody have anybody we need to keep in mind? And George, we'll turn it over to you for our invocation.
Let's unite our hearts in prayer. Creator God, who's the author of life and life abundant, and who is always the force of healing and wholeness, we are grateful for your spirit moving among us as we gather as Rotarians. Your spirit of compassion has directed and inspired lab scientists to discover several effective vaccines that are now being administered globally. We're especially ones who rejoice that all of this has reached Haywood County, and we're now moving toward herd immunity, and that we, as members of this close fellowship, will soon be able to meet face to face once again. All about us are signs of regeneration, the budding of flowers, the growing green grass, the resurgence of hope throughout our community. We pray for our small businesses that have suffered throughout the pandemic. May these merchants that provide essential services for all of us reemerge with economic resilience. Bless especially the nurses and doctors here and far away who have risked their lives to combat courageously this dreadful disease. We pray for the sick and those who are facing crisis. We're grateful for the progress of Steve Brown and his subsequent progress after the open heart surgery. We reach out in love and concern for Mark Clasby, who is enduring the chemotherapy and is still having the advances of cancer to be looked at. We pray for his healing in this process. Inspire and inform us through today's program presentation. Empower each member of our club as we strive to live joyfully into our mission, service above self. In your holy name we pray. Amen.
Thank you, George. And Paul Irving is our Sergeant at Arms this month to lead us in our pledge and our four-way test.
If you're on mute, you can talk with me. If you aren't, lip sync it, okay? So we won't get feedback. But let's do the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, and now the four-way test of the things we think, say, and do. Is it the truth? Is it fair to all concerned? Will it build goodwill and better friendships? Will it be beneficial to all concerned? Thank you, guys.
Paul, now it's time for Happy Dollars. Anybody want to tell us about some Happy Dollars today? Nobody, okay.
I'll do one.
Oh, Kelly.
Yeah, I'll do 5. I had my second vaccine shot yesterday, and thankfully the side effects have been minimal, but here at work you can see I'm kind of taking it slower today, but thankful to have that second shot, and it does feel like a bit of relief.
Very good. Anyone else? John Keith.
I will.
Steve,
get
I'll
five.
do $10. I'll do $10 for the 100 vaccinations that our team's been able to provide to the homeless veteran population. So put me down for $10.
John Keith.
I'll get $5 just to see my daughter Heather on this Zoom. So glad to have her here today, and especially after talking to Mark an hour ago. Just what I needed. It's all about fam and friends.
Very good. That's good. Anyone else? Well, that was kind of easy. Let's go into announcement. Brandon Wilson wants to make an announcement. He has a project he's looking for support from our Rotary Club, and he's going to champion a little fundraising effort for upcoming banquet that he has. So I'll ask Brandon to unmute himself and tell us about his upcoming program at Lake Junaluska. It's all yours, Brandon.
Thank you, President McNeil. Yeah, so team, I am putting together, we usually have a conference every year for my entire team across the state, which has grown to upward around 70 social workers and peer support specialists all over the state. We're coming together for a spring conference in May, and we're actually holding it this year at Lake Junaluska. And Ken Howell has been absolutely remarkable to work with at the assembly. So we're putting all our staff up there in hotels. We're going to spend 4 days there in their meeting space. But one of the problems I've come across is because I am so heavily grant funded, I can't pay for food at my banquet. And so I've got to fundraise. And usually when I do this across the state, we get local partners to chip in for $50, $100, just so I can feed all my team at a nice banquet dinner that we're going to be having at the terrace. So what I'm looking to do is I need to fundraise a little bit of dollars to help pay for that. I've already got a lot of sponsors already that's willing to do it. It'd be a great opportunity to put the Waynesville Rotary logo on our D board, and we'll push that all over social media. But I'm looking for I'm down to my last little $500 that I've got to get to pay all my team that's been pushing and been on the front lines even during the COVID time period. So I'm going to champion that. And if anybody's interested in donating toward our banquet dinner at Lake Junaluska, you can feel free just to reach out to me. The checks will not be written out to me. I don't collect no money to include in my own household. My wife takes all mine, but all the checks could be written to ABCCM. And in the memo line would be for the Veteran Services Banquet. And all that'll get sent over to Lake Junaluska with a check from ABCCM once we get it all together. So just wanted to throw that out there for everybody. And if you're interested, just to feel free to reach out and contact me. Thank you, President McNeil.
Thank you, Brandon. We have a soft spot, I think, all of us, for our veterans, and Brandon does a great deal of work all across the state and has been recognized for that. So hopefully we can help fund their banquet for their attendees for their conference. Mark Bumgarner, you have an upcoming open door day?
Yes, come next Thursday, the 22nd. It's open door volunteer day again, and the slate is open for new volunteers and old volunteers. So let me know if you can. I appreciate your help. Got any takers today?
I'll do it. I did it last month, and
Thanks, Steve.
it's an easy morning's work.
All right. Well, I appreciate all your help.
It's
I'm
Larry.
sorry?
You got me. It's Larry Leatherwood. You got me down, don't you?
Yes, I do, Larry. Thank you. All right, we'll be looking for a couple more. I'll send out my email. You guys are good at responding. Thank you.
Thank you, Mark. Let's see, Habitat Humanity. Jack, did you have a report from Habitat attendance this week?
I do. Yep, we had Ed and I from our club, and then we had Bruce Golson, who's from the early morning club. But we also had a dedication of one of our homes, home number 7 in Walton Woods. That was held on Wednesday afternoon. Really, it's amazing to celebrate when a family is ready to take possession of a home. And Penny, the homeowner, and her son Adam were, of course, present for that, along with a number of other Rotarians who included board members as well as volunteers. But another great week for Haywood Habitat for Humanity.
Thank you, Jack. Cecil, can you give us an update on where we stand on our camera bus money?
No,
Bus camera.
there's been no change since the last report.
We still would like to raise money to match the grant that the
I'll pull it up and give me just a minute and I'll get it for you.
All right.
I'll come back to me if you would.
Okay. That's all the announcements I had. Anyone else have an announcement?
This just in, $965 have been pledged toward the school bus cameras. And Bill Owen reported this morning that 280 food backpacks were delivered by he and I believe Charles and Larry. And he said that the Tuscola parking lot was not at all filled, even though school's back in session. Maybe one of y'all that were, Charles or you or Larry, if I had that right, you want to jump in on that?
Well, as far as the deliveries are concerned, that's correct. I don't know about the attendance at Tuscola. I can't tell you.
Okay, thank you.
I've been your route. Anything else?
We are up to 51 members having received both, or their total, I shouldn't say both, having received their full inoculation. As of this morning, we're at 51.
Very good. I saw Ed Brown at the Dodge dealership yesterday, and he was asking when we're going to go back to meetings. So, Paul Irvin.
Yeah, it's just an announcement. You can charge me $5 if you want. But I had a message from Big Brothers Big Sisters, and I know that's not one of the programs that we have, but it's a great program many of you may be involved with. They've received a grant to expand from, I think it's 10 counties to 15 or 18 in Western North Carolina. And so I know they're already here in our county in Haywood, but I think that's something good. And many of you may be involved with the program already and know about it, but I just wanted to make that announcement, okay?
Thank you, Paul. Anything else? If not, we have a very good program lined up for today, and I forget who's program chairman. Is that John or Chuck?
Jenny Buckner is one of the most talented artists that we have in this area. She has been a winner at the Hilton Head Art League Southern Living International Art Show in the past. She's been, and this is back in 2020, she was in the Oil Painters of America's spring show, and that was an online show because of the COVID, I would assume. For 2016 through 2020, she was juried into the American Impressionist Society National Show. She has been juried into the Oil Painters of America National Show. She is the been in the International Artist magazine in an article titled "In the Studios of the World's Best Artists."
She's now online, by the way.
Oh, okay.
She needs to unmute. She needs an unmute.
She's been in the Southwest Art magazine of the best 50 paintings of the decade, which is extraordinary. The Southwest Art magazine Artist to Watch in November and December of 2020. She's in the Mission Hospital Permanent Collection, Town of Waynesville Permanent Collection. And she did a painting that was used in the movie The Accountant, which starred Ben Affleck. And in November of 2019, she opened Buckner Gallery on North Main Street. So if Jenny is here, we would love to hear from you, Jenny. And thank you for being here.
All right. Yeah. I was unable to get Zoom on my computer loaded, so you're on my iPhone. So I can only see one at a time.
Well, we appreciate the fact that you made it in.
Yeah. So yeah, I had to lock the gallery door and say I was at lunch. So so what do you need from me? You said it'd be more like a conversation. What can I answer for you?
Well, I think we'd like to know about your what you're doing right now. If you want to talk to us about some of the things that I mentioned, and I certainly didn't mention all of them. There was a lot of recognition that I could have just made a program out of. But we'd like to hear from you about what you're doing, and this has been kind of a wild ride for you, hasn't it?
Yeah, it has. Well, I was just mainly in local galleries up until a couple years ago, and had a small studio on South Main, and then started teaching workshops, had a huge demand, big long wait list, decided that needed to go bigger, found a partner in Tina Honorkamp. We get along well. She does the books in exchange for her rent, and we found this building on North Main and opened the gallery and a workshop center. The workshops book very fast and are full. I've been invited to teach in France, which in the art world is the ultimate. So that was very exciting.
Yeah.
Though that has not happened, been put on hold the last 2 years because of the COVID. So right now we've had one workshop this year. I just got back from Indiana, where I was taking photographs and setting up for going to be doing a wolf workshop up there. It's a nonprofit organization that rescues wolves and shows them, introduces them to the public so you can see that, learn more about them, and they have other wild creatures. And anyway, I got back from that and was teaching in Cincinnati the week before that. So it's been pretty busy.
I'll say.
Yeah, right now I'm working on some horses here. Can you see behind me?
Yes.
So.
Can you take some questions? Maybe you wanted to have some questions. Tell us
Sure.
about your family, Jenny, first.
Tell you about what?
Your family.
My family. Oh, okay.
Proud of your family.
Yeah, I know, you know my husband.
Yes,
Let's see, I had 2 kids and 2 grandchildren. One son is in the Air Force up in Illinois at Scott Air Force Base. My daughter does artistic stuff on the side. She's raising a 2-year-old and a 2-month-old. She lives in Raleigh, married to a pastor. My husband's a psychiatrist and a CEO. He's
Of Meridian.
busy.
Of
He's
Meridian.
Yes.
Of
And
Meridian.
he's busy, and he's stays at home now because he does mainly Zoom meetings, and I leave now and go to work. So it's a little different. The business, I had a huge year last year. People didn't go on vacation, so they bought art and take workshops, and just a really big year. Bought this building on this side of town where it was still a little cheaper, but it's going to be getting more busy. So was focused on that part of the aspect. Has the perfect teaching center, the huge warehouse in the back, and bringing in other artists from all over, famous artists. The social media has really connected the art world, and friends with most of the top artists in the world now, on personal basis too. It's really interesting.
Can you tell us how you got into painting, the calling you had?
Oh, you want my story then? Let's see. So I was 33, so I'm 55. So 22 years ago, it was Thanksgiving, and Don, my husband, came down with MS, and I was suffering from severe depression. We were swinging 2 house mortgages, trying to unload one of the houses. It was just a rough time. Husband's very active, liked to run marathons at that time. So it was a devastating news. Had a dream then that God wanted me to paint. So got up the next morning, and I could draw anything. I understood the color wheel. I could paint anything. Within a month, had won 3rd place in Washington, D.C. It just went from there. And then just stayed happy with that and painting and being in various galleries. And then felt that God wanted me to teach, but how do you teach what you just know? So then I had to go about learning to understand how I knew what I knew and how to explain it to others. So that became a big part of it. And still didn't really want to teach, but when finally decided to, God really blessed the business, and it just took off. So the more I accept teaching jobs and do all that, the more he blesses us. So I know it's the right decision. Had to start small. I don't like speaking in front of a lot of people. But I like working with people personally. I take it very seriously. I pray about each student. I get their names before the workshop because everyone learns differently, so that I'll understand how they learn and how to best approach helping them, because everyone is different. And I don't want them to paint like me. I want them to be better at how they paint. So that's part of what I do. Let's see.
Well, Chuck, in introducing you, had mentioned a number of awards, particularly the Southwestern. Now, tell us honestly how prestigious that thing is you got, because I know that is a very well-known, well-read magazine, I believe. Is that not right? Or in the art community?
Yeah, more in the art collector community. In the art world, the ARC, the Art Center Renewal, the international one that my Wolves were a staff winner, that is the most prestigious one that everyone, there were 82 countries, people trying to get into this show, and have entered it the last few years and not gotten in. And this year had 4 get in and become finalists. And then 1 was a winner. Now it wasn't the large cash award that a lot of the national shows I enter in have. But part of getting recognition and people coming to your workshops is you've got to show that you can win against the big guys. Mm-hmm. So actually the bigger shows around the United States is Oil Painters of America, very hard to get in. Once you get in 3 national shows and several regional, then you become a signature member. So that was a goal, and I got that this year. Have won prizes in that, won this past fall. And then American Impressionist Society was my next goal, because that's another huge group with thousands of members, and only 100 paintings get in, each year. So got in that and became a signature member of that, get in regularly. I have a painting in the Oil Painters America's National Show right now out in California, and my painting pre-sold before it even was hung on the museum wall. So that was good. Let's see.
Are most of your are animals? Is that right? Most of your paintings, at least the ones I've seen, are mainly animals. Is that true?
No, I do a lot of florals. I do landscapes that are palette knife, and they're more fun. And landscapes are the best sellers because people want something to go with their sofa. So the landscapes I do is a palette knife, but my competition pieces are my florals and my animals.
Yep. Right. Okay. I've had enough questions. Somebody else may. Thank you so much, Jen.
You're welcome.
Jenny, I have a question about the painting in The Accountant. How did that happen? And which painting was it?
It's actually a painting. It's one of the ones now owned by Mission Hospital in their heart area. It was a gallery down in Atlanta that I was part of at the time that regularly had movie sets come and rent paintings to be in the movies. So you don't know where it's going to be. It could be in the bathroom, of the truck stop. You don't know. So I still watch the movie because there are so many paintings, because they, every piece that they show on the walls in the houses and the stores and is all rented. So from some artists. So I'm still looking to see where my piece is in the movie. I just know it was rented. So.
Well, that was very interesting.
Yeah, it was interesting and new to me. That was very cool. I kind of wanted to keep it, but I can't keep everything. So.
Right.
Jenny, this is Cecil. I have your website up, and I might be able to show some of the images from your site if you'd like for me to try that.
Sure, you can, or I can walk around the gallery here and show you some pieces.
Okay.
Let's see. Like, here's my big wolf painting. Y'all see that?
Yes.
And
yes.
It's a huge painting. It's huge. This is a floral I just finished. It's already sold. And it's huge also. It's like 3 feet by 6 feet. So pretty big. More paintings in the gallery, snow scenes, geese, more palette knives. So I'm busy. I paint fast, which is also an interesting thing about how I paint. But when you're an impressionist painter, that's part of it. Like, this is a wolf one I finished called Chorus. But my style, the way I paint, it looks very realistic, but the closer you get to my paintings, I'm considered a modern impressionist. Like, the closer you get to my wolves here, can you see how loose my strokes get? Can you see that?
It's a little hard because there's a glare on the.
Is there a glare? Yeah. Okay, sorry about that.
That's
Let's
okay.
see. Maybe there's a better here. No, it's hard to see what y'all are seeing. Anyway, just take my word for it then. But that's the trick to what I do. And I paint better with my glasses off, because then I see with peripheral vision, I can see color and I don't see too much. Part of the problem with amateur painters is they see too much and try to show everything. And you can't do that. So. Any other questions?
Jenny, this is Steve McNeil. I attended your open house when you opened your gallery. And I think I told you, you were in Henry Foy's building, who is long-term Rotarian in our group. And
Yes.
made very good use of that facility.
Yeah, no, we love this building, and we lost one of the main trees out front, but it does let you see the gallery more. And so it's actually been a good thing that we lost the tree. More people see us and come in. So, but yeah, no, I treasure that he was here. There's been a computer company was here that subcontracted out to Google. That's who I bought it from. And then there was also a surveyor who owned the building here. I believe he built the workshop in the back, the really large space. There's like almost 5,000 square feet I have. So quite a bit.
And the gallery's open for visitors all the time?
Yeah, well, Monday through Friday. Weekends, we're artists too. So if we decide we need frames and we got to go to Atlanta, we just don't put the open sign out and we go to Atlanta because they're only open during the week also. We're open 10 to 4, Monday through Friday, and look for the open sign hanging outside. So that's how you know for sure if we're here, because again, being artists, we aren't keeping perfect hours.
So that instead of banker's hours, we now have artist hours.
We have artist hours. So like if I have a doctor's appointment, then we don't open till 1. But it doesn't seem to be a problem. I have a huge amount of online sales. I ship a huge amount. I maintain a very active online presence with social media. I know it drives my husband crazy, but it also is my free exposure and how I get such a large following.
Are you still showing pieces in any of the other galleries around?
Yeah, in Brevard, I'm in Red Wolf Gallery, Asheville, the Village Potters Gallery. I've got some stuff down in Charleston at the Reinhardt Gallery, and then out in the museum in California right now. So,
Jenny, did you tell us earlier what your favorite painting has been, or is that something like saying which is your favorite kid?
that's like asking me which is my favorite kid, because it my favorite paintings I probably have at home, and their family members and stuff like that. And I love art so much. I collect a huge amount. I have art from all over the world. Since I know who the big people are, who's winning all the shows now, I buy their work, and I keep records, and I have all their winnings on the back of each paintings, so my kids know later.
That's great.
So what does the Rotary Club do? Like, are y'all a Christian organization? Are you a business people or what?
Rotary's non-religious. It's a worldwide organization. It was started with business people.
Mm-hmm.
Predominantly, that's, I would guess, still the majority of the membership. Rotary's tackle things like polio throughout the world, and it has it reduced to two countries now.
Mm-hmm.
Our Southeast region has taken on raising money for Alzheimer's research.
That's great.
You were a little bit late getting on, but we locally support Manna backpack lunches that we send home with kids on Friday afternoons. And that's been greatly reduced this year because of school attendance and all those kind of things.
Yeah, sure.
We tackle a lot of things that we kind of stay behind the scenes on, but we enjoy scholarships and things that we give to local students. We have a team that works with Habitat almost every week.
That's great. Good organization.
We try to find ways we can improve our community and help Rotary International will improve the world.
Is most of your group retired, or are you all active still in the business world, or what?
Our particular group has a rather old average age, but a number are still quite involved in ongoing commerce. And I see several in here who are younger members of our group. And we are always looking to add to our group. So, and we don't have any artists who are members right now, Jenny, so we'd be happy to recruit you.
Well, I only see men so far because I'm just seeing whoever asked me a question. So I wasn't sure if you had women in your group too.
Oh yes, we have Shelley White from the community college, Karen Denny from the community college.
Okay.
Marianne Way, who's one of our, what's your category, Marianne? You're honorary.
Honorary.
So we have, and Heather Gates is online. She's not, her picture's not up there right now, but it's John Keith's daughter. So we have a good group of females, and we'd like to add to that. So Heather, Shelley, Karen, one of you need to ask a question so she can see you. George, did you have a question?
I'll ask a question. This is Karen Denny. Do you do any classes for those of us that might be interested in taking an art class?
Yeah, we do. We do workshops. We have beginner/advanced beginner workshops that are 4 days, 9 to 4. We take an hour for lunch. They're intensive. You go home with 3 paintings. We take a limited number of students, and Tina and I teach that together. I'm with Tina Honor Camp. She's my partner. And then I teach several advanced classes on my own for students who are a lot farther along. And they're all workshops. I don't do individual teaching other than the workshops. We do 1 a quarter for the beginner workshops. I think the first 2 are sold out. We have a few spots left, and the 3rd and 4th one, I think. We have a beginner's kit we sell, so they don't have to buy their own materials. We have a huge workshop center that's just beautiful, and we provide easels and tables and chairs, and have an eating and a sitting area. It's really nice.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome.
Steve, if Rick Smith would take his mute off, he might could introduce our youngest potential female member I see today.
Yes, this is my granddaughter, Goldie. Say hello, Goldie. Say hello.
Hello.
That's my dog you've been seeing running through also. So I'm outside with the kids today.
Very nice.
She brings our average age down, Jenny.
I have a dog with me.
Senior members, one of the older members. So I have an old person's question.
Okay.
Wherever my wife and I go, we try to go to art museums. And neither of us have had any training in art. And occasionally we'll stand in front of a modernistic piece of art that looks like somebody has taken several cans of paint and thrown things up against the wall. And we're told by the tour guide that this was worth millions, and the museum spent half of its budget on this thing. How can you help ignorant people like me who really can't differentiate? There was a hilarious play that they got off Broadway when I lived in Charlotte at the Belk Center. It was a story of this fellow who bought for thousands of dollars this piece of art, and all it was several shades of white. And no one would tell him the truth about this. No one would say, you wasted your money. This is nothing. Somebody really ripped you off. And there's one that comes up and does that, and it ruins a friendship, and it's hilarious. It's so funny. But I was drawn to the play because that is I. I would have done the same thing.
Yeah.
How do you help people like me to understand, comprehend, and be drawn to the artwork of some of your many colleagues, some of whom don't do as realistic stuff as you do?
Well, the modern art has been really big the last many years, especially in art school. If you wanted representational art, which is more what I do, you couldn't find it or find someone to teach it to you. It was a contempt for it. And now it's actually going the other way. It's going more towards representational art again. So the craft. My feelings about it is I don't want to own it if I can reproduce it in 10 minutes, you know. Plus, art is all about emotion. When you feel an emotion when you look at it, you know, when you go in the gallery of the modern art, they would say, so how do you feel when you look at this painting, you know, and then they want you to say some highbrow, you know, thing about what you're thinking. And usually I'm thinking this is ridiculous and looks like a kindergartner did it. And if they do have an emotion behind them, that's a good thing, I guess. I want people to feel emotion when they look at my paintings, but I also want them to look at them and be in awe that I could do that, if that makes sense. I don't want them to think, why is this so valuable? I want them to know it is by seeing that there's skill involved. But I would say the representational art is definitely back on the upswing, and modern art is not.
So it's okay if emotionally I want to regurgitate when I see a piece of art. That's okay.
Yes, that's okay.
John Keith.
Jenny, congratulations. As the rest of the team on this Zoom know, that Carrie and I have owned the gallery for, gosh, 14 years now. It's hard to believe. And
yeah,
most of those years we were blessed to have you. And my only comment is there are very few artists that rise to the ability to go out on their own. It's tough making a living selling art. We have some that come close, but Jenny is one of those that has risen to a point that she can do what she's done, and we're so proud of her. And her work is one of the most appreciated locally as well as away. And her farm animals speak to people, and that's what you just said is the bottom line in selling art is a matter of what it speaks to people. And if it speaks to a lot of people, you can make a living doing that. And hers have spoken to a lot of folks, and she's going to do very well as she has. And so we're very proud of you.
Thank you, Keith. I appreciate that. Yeah, it's all about exposure. It's all about getting out in the art world. It's about staying on top of the art world and knowing which galleries you need to be in, which contests you need to be part of, which magazines you need to be advertising in. That's all part of it. And yeah, making a living in art is very difficult. It helps if your husband's a physician. I will be honest with you there, but my business has supported itself for the last several years. So it has done really, really well. Last year was just a killer. So in spite of COVID.
But it all starts with the ability to put those images on canvas. So
yeah, to have a love for it. I don't even do commission work anymore. I had a 2-year wait list. And so it just was too much. And frankly, I do well enough. I don't have to paint what others need me to paint. So I just send them to someone else I know who needs the business. I love what I do. I really could be here 7 days a week if I didn't have family I adore. I dream about painting. I want to paint all the time. I have so many photos. I'm a huge photographer. So I have just a massive amount, thousands, just ready to be paintings. And so it's good I paint fast.
You had a quirk when you were painting in the early days. Do you still have that little dance that you do?
I don't know. I didn't know I did a dance.
That came from your mouth.
Oh gosh, that's been a while. I do like to listen to rock and roll music when I'm painting, so maybe, but I usually could think I'm dancing in private, so.
Well, I've never witnessed it. I was just told.
Yeah, well, I don't want to scare anybody away.
Anybody have any more questions? I will say that we, as individuals, are very proud of you, but as a community, we're very proud of you as well, Jenny.
Well, thank you,
And
Chuck.
we appreciate you being here today and sharing with us. Your art is extraordinary, and we thank you for sharing it with us.
Thank you so much, Chuck. I appreciate it. And thank you everyone for letting me ramble a little today.
Go by and see your art.
Oh yeah, come on by, but always look for if it's open or closed. We have the sign hanging below. It's a lot of work, even in the rain, to go out there and hang the closed or open, but that's how you know we're here.
It's well worth the effort to go and see what's there and what they're working on. Jenny, we do thank you for coming today and sharing with us. And best of luck. And why don't you send somebody else to Atlanta to pick up frames for you?
Because I wouldn't choose the ones I choose.
Okay. Very good. There's nothing else for the good of Rotary today. Thank you all for being here. And Jeff Norris, I'm going to give you a call in a few minutes, so hang around.
Thanks,
Thank you
Jenny.
all. See you next week.
Thank you, Jenny.